Welcome to another Demarcation Media action figure review. Today we are looking at another Warhammer 40K Joytoy figure. This is a Ultramarine Honor Guard, specifically Honor Guard 2. Now this guy is different from the Victrix Honor Guards, which are similar but kind of a separate thing. This guy is just Honor Guard, and it actually says Honor Guard 2 on there. This guy caught my eye because he looks so different, and I know there's a little bit of like a Space Marine fatigue in the Warhammer Joytoy community, or maybe more specifically an Ultramarine fatigue where there's just so many Ultramarines. We get more Ultramarines than anything else, it seems. But this guy seems sufficiently different to make him worth paying attention to. So the box is actually smaller than I was expecting. It's smaller than the last one I got, I think. And like, look, here's my Hellblaster, and he's not all that much shorter than the box itself. So it's a lot smaller, which in my opinion is good. We really only need enough box to hold the figure, and anything more is wasteful. Nice photography on the front. We have the dead Emperor, or kind of dead Emperor. He's like not quite dead. And then we've got some more shots here. The cape worries me a little bit. Hard capes tend to limit articulation a lot, but we will see. And I really love the way that they do photography and just have the photography on the box. Yeah, pretty standard Joytoy Warhammer box. Looks pretty nice. Smaller than usual. Let's get it open. Alrighty, these figures come pretty much always wrapped in this like shrink wrap plastic. I don't know that I've ever seen one that came new that didn't have it. All right, there we go. Let's get this guy out of his plastic prison. Oh, it came with a stand. I love this. All the newer figures so far have come packaged with stands. That is awesome. Absolutely love it. Okay, so there is the cape, very large in its own bag. And then there is the figure himself. Very, like, I don't know, the way the axe is angled is a little more dynamic than I'm used to. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. This axe was part of what kind of caught my eye and made me want to go for this guy. Interesting bolter or bolt rifle. I think that's a bolt rifle. I'm still not totally on my game with these Warhammer weapons. We have hands, if I can get them out. We have a fist. We have a holding hand, which is a must for the axe. We've got a trigger hand. Oh, we have two fists. Ah, come on. Oh, I just dumped the guy out. Package of Joytoy official desiccant, just in case you wanted to collect some desiccant. And then the figure himself. Wow, there's a lot going on. Okay, I'm going to get this guy with all of his accessories on, and then we will take a closer look. Alrighty, there he is. He's got his cape on. He's all free of his packaging. Got everything else out. Couple surprising things right off the bat. The head piece right here, this is made of a softer plastic, which I guess is both good and bad. We'll talk about that in a minute. The cape is actually rubber, so it bends, and then this is much softer plastic than the other figures that I've gotten with the like loincloth things. Also, the gasoline smell is strong with this one. All the Joytoy figures, when you get them right out of the box, they're gonna smell. This guy seems to smell particularly much. So I don't really know what that is. I have a feeling it's whatever they use for a wash or whatnot. But yeah, it stinks. It goes away after a little bit, but yeah, for right now it stinks. So let's go ahead and start by taking a close look at the accessories. So as you saw before, we get a double pair of fisted hands, which is great. You can have him punching with both hands. You get a trigger hand. However, he also has a trigger hand equipped, so you get dual trigger hands and a holding hand, and he also has a holding hand equipped. So you're all set. You get doubles of every hand, which is great. Some of the other Space Marines will just come with like one trigger hand or one two-finger pointing hand and not the other side. But no, this time you get doubles of all the hand types. Here is the stand. It is, the camera has a hard time focusing on it. It is the same as the one we saw with the Hellblaster. If you have not seen that review, I'll put up the little card or something. But yeah, it's just a simple plastic piece, clear plastic piece with a peg on it, so you can hold the figures up. And then we have this bolt rifle. I think this is a bolt rifle. It's significantly larger than the standard like bolt rifles that, or hopefully I'm not getting this wrong. Hopefully this is actually a bolt rifle, but it's significantly larger than this more standard one that comes with the other like Ultramarines, Intercessors, and whatnot. And it's all silver. Now I'm curious, I didn't check the box. Oh, it doesn't show it, but this mag looks like it would come out. Maybe not. Sometimes they have the mags come out. It's got this little like scroll thingamajig here. As a person that is very much a Warhammer noob and not knowing all the different lore and whatnot, what is that? Is this like some sort of a commendation? It's like wax tacked on there. I don't really know. We have a partial winged skull, very, very wide bore. And I don't know, is that a smaller gun on top? And then you can see more detail on this side. I like how asymmetrical it is with the little thingamajig hanging on the one side. This is kind of a softer plastic, so you won't have to worry too much about breaking it, but I would be careful, you know, while you're sliding it into the hand. Looks really cool though. Very hefty, very imposing, and kind of stands out as a special weapon. And then the axe here is the real standout. I'm always prone to trying to get the figures that come with swords, but this whole figure kind of gives me dwarf warrior vibes, and this axe helps a lot with that. I mean, this is super cool. It's got part of the Ultramarine symbol here, the other side here, skull, little pipe, and then the handle is super nice as well. I would love to see a double-bladed version of this, but yeah, this is slick. I like this a lot. So the first thing that I want to do is give you a little size comparison. I feel like at this point, I have looked at enough of these figures on the channel to kind of have everybody have a general idea of how big they are, but for you Mega fans, this is a Mega figure. Next to him, he comes up roughly to the knee. So this guy is like 1, 2, roughly 3 Mega figures tall, so he's not that big. And then I just wanted to also drop in the this is the 2.0 Ultramarine Intercessor. And then just as a quick comparison, here is the Orc from the Squig Hog. Here is a little Tau, kind of shorter, actually a lot shorter. Let me drop in, here's a Iron Hand and also a Blood Angels figure. Those are the 3 chapters that I have figures from right now. I still need to get some like Dark Angels and Imperial Fists and whatnot. This was the guy that I was talking about having, so this is fairly stiff, but this is pretty pliable. So I'm happy to see that. This was a piece that worried me. The real question is, why is this guy different from all the other Ultramarines, and why should you even bother paying attention to him? Well, obviously the like rank and position and function is different. He's an Honor Guard, whereas this guy's an Intercessor. This guy's a Hellblaster, and there's other variants. But also he just looks so different. Yes, he's got the blue and gold, but there's so much more going on, and we'll look at that in a minute. The head is different, totally different shoulders, totally different legs. He doesn't even have like the kneecap sections there at all. And I believe, yeah, even if you turn it around, different pack too. It's a little bit slimmer. Yeah, there's a lot of differences, and I think if you have some Ultramarines already, and if you're like, oh, another Ultramarine, right out of the box, this guy has enough differences to make him worth checking out. Let's just kind of start at the head and work our way down. The head is unlike the other heads that I've seen from the Ultramarines by a lot. There's like a standard one. There is our Honor Guard. He has kind of almost an owlish look with the way this is shaped. And like I said, these are soft, which is good, although they do kind of get a little bit shaped funny while in the package, so you kind of have to bend them back. You might have to heat them up if you want to get it perfect. Eyes are red, rather glossy. Looks pretty nice. Not much overspill. Looks good to me. The feathers and stuff here are kind of all full of like a wash and whatnot, and it looks really good. Makes the detail stand out. We have all these tassels and ropes. I guess this would be, yeah, it's supposed to kind of like be connecting to the cape. It looks almost like Twizzlers, more so on the box than here, but the Twizzler ropes there. This guy, I specifically went for Honor Guard 2 because I've seen a lot of people getting Honor Guard 1, and he has like a skull on his chest and chains and whatnot. This guy I didn't see getting much attention, and he looks just as cool, so I wanted to give him some attention as well. He's got a winged Ultramarine symbol, and then he's got this like, I don't even know what that is, some sort of a bit of machinery. His shoulders are kind of more smooth and round, but then they've got these big things on it. See the words Ultra, Honor, and Courage on there. Very interesting. His forearm has like a double-headed eagle. That's a very Roman symbol. And then he's got some gold etching there. On the other side, he's got a big scroll hanging here. I don't really know what that is. It's got what looks like cursive on there. I don't know if that's real words or not. But then he's got it tacked on by the wax, which I feel like that would fall off in battle. But he is an Honor Guard, so maybe he wouldn't see much battle. Although this is Warhammer, so everybody sees battle. Same double-headed eagle. The backpack has lots of nice detail on it, actually. Some dry brushing on the vents, gold. There's a skull. Humans are really obsessed with skulls. The little vents can be moved a bit. And yeah, that's pretty nice for the top section. There's actually some tubes and stuff that you can see behind the guy's head on the pack. Moving down, we have more of those tassel Twizzlers, and it moves. It's fairly soft. I like that they're soft and don't get in the way much. I do kind of wonder how well they will age, but I guess we'll see. And then we got another Ultramarine symbol, and then the leather bit with all the skulls on it again. Another Ultramarine symbol. So if you didn't know it was an Ultramarine by now, you will definitely know from the million symbols. There's a little bit of molded in vent work on the legs, and then the right leg, at least from the way I'm looking at it, has very little detail, while the left leg has that molded symbol. You can see there's no knee pad on this one. Honor Guard 1 does have a knee pad. Also, the feet are a little less chunky, which is interesting. I don't really know why. And then for the articulation, we have pretty much the standard stuff. The arms are a little bit limited by the shoulders. However, not as much as I was expecting. The newer figures seem to have slightly softer tabs to hold in the shoulders, so that's kind of nice. And there's like a pull-out, like almost butterfly joint. The ab crunch is pretty good. Mine has a little bit of a loose joint on the lower waist section. It's not horrible. The head is actually not as limited as I thought it would be. You can't have him look down super far just because of the pointy nose thing, but he can look up a decent bit, and he can look down enough. I think I would say that's enough. His forward motion, despite having so much hanging in front of him, it all kind of moves out of the way decently well. He's got a double jointed knee, and for the, oh, I just popped the foot off. That is a double ball joint there, so you can get decent movement if you don't keep pulling it off. This one seems to pull off more than usual. Also, I'm noticing that, oh, we do have a toe hinge. I don't like these toe hinges personally. I don't really like toe hinges ever, but these ones don't, I don't know, they just don't look good. This guy seems like his seam. Well, the seams on the legs are kind of messy. Well, this one is like, there's a scratch, but at least it's together. This side is separated. I don't really know if that would be a problem at all, but it definitely is a little bit separated on both sides. So that could be just an issue with mine. It could be something that happened in transit, but know that that is a thing that can happen. There he is, all posed up with his weapons. This guy uses the new 3.0 hands, which are so much better to use. You get not only more wrist articulation, but you also have an easier time getting the accessories in. So that's super cool. The axe looks fantastic. I love that. He really does give me like Dwarf Warrior vibes from this whole like setup. The wings on the face, the chunky, just kind of overall look, and then the axe. The axe really kind of seals the dwarven look for me. So quality-wise, I would say right out of the box, he's not bad. The separation on the leg concerns me. Paint-wise, he's pretty nice. I don't really see anything that makes me go, oh my word, that's terrible. Like paint-wise, pretty sharp. The wash and like the highlight, not really highlighting, it's just like the faint shading on the edges. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I guess really the only complaints that I have are the soft wings on the head. I do understand their choice to do that. That way it doesn't snap, but also in transit it kind of gets warped and whatnot. And then the leg separation is not great. But so far it seems like the joints are solid. Joytoy is in general made out of a slightly softer plastic. So sometimes after, like, you know, when you just get them straight out of the box, you pose them around for a little bit and you'll realize some of the joints are actually loose and they've just been a little bit more sticky because of, you know, being unposed or being in heat or whatever. So we'll see if any of the joints get loose on that. I did have some of that problem with this dude where his hand, the little hand swivel here, is actually fairly loose and the piece even rattles back and forth a little bit. Have to try to tighten it, or I may end up just gluing that in place because it's an extra rotation. But so far I don't seem to have any problems like that with this guy, but like I said, sometimes they don't show up until after you pose them a little while. And all the stuff on him doesn't really limit him much. I expected him to be limited a lot, but this cape is very soft and moves all over the place and doesn't really have any issues with that. The pack does come on and off a little bit easily, but yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll have much problems getting him into poses that you want. He looks pretty slick like that. So yeah, quality-wise, I would give this guy, I think I would give him a 9 out of 10 so far. Maybe an 8.5 because that's separation, and like I said, the joints, I don't really know for sure how the joints will be. But paint-wise is definitely a 10 out of 10. Very solid. The shading isn't as pronounced as it is on this dude here, but it's there, and I think it adds quite a bit. Well, there you have it. That is the Joytoy Warhammer 40K Honor Guard 2. So I gotta say, even though I don't know exactly all the lore behind specifically the Honor Guards, and why they look the way they do, why they carry axes, all that, he just looks really cool. He stands out from the other Space Marines that I have. He's got all kinds of interesting detail with the Twizzlers, all the extra gold, all these little scroll thingamajigs. It just looks really good, and I'm pretty impressed. I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that this was rubber. Again, I don't know how it'll age. I'm hoping that they mix the plastic or mix the rubber well so that it will age well, but for now, it's a pretty good choice, it seems, and he just looks really good. So if you're feeling burnt out from Ultramarines, feeling burnt out from Space Marines, maybe in general, I would say give this dude a try. I think if you are a Warhammer fan, I won't need to do much to convince you to get one if you have not already, because, I mean, the Honor Guards are a little bit of a big deal from what I can tell. So, yeah, if you're a Warhammer person, you're probably going to want this guy. If you're just finding Joytoy and maybe wanting just a cool figure or whatever, give this dude a try. He looks like he would be real inhibited in his posing because of all the stuff, but he's really not. He comes with a cool axe. He comes with a big gun that shoots very, very large bullets. Yeah, I think he's pretty cool. Now, the price point is a little less than cool. So this guy right here, the first figure that I got, which is the 2.0 Intercessor, when he was for sale, like at retail price, he was like range between $25 and $40. The Honor Guard ranges between $40 and like $55, which I understand the raising of the price because he's just got so much going on, and I believe he's got some new pieces as well. It's just a little bit more expensive, and for the accessories you get, I don't know, I feel like I maybe would have wanted to get something else for that price, but I'm not really sure what else they could have added that would make sense for this dude, because I mean, he's got his axe, he's got all of his hands, he's got the stand, so I don't feel like it's a horrible price. Just know that it will be a little bit more pricey than your standard Space Marine. So, if you want to get this guy, I will put a link in the description and a link in the pinned comment. But yeah, I do recommend this guy. I think he's pretty cool. He just has a few flaws. You might have a quality control problem like this, and these might be bent. And he might smell like gasoline for the first day or so that you've got him. But he's got an axe, and it looks really cool. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.